Sergey Kovalev will be ringside to witness Andre Ward's upcoming fight on August 6th against Alexander Brand. He'll be looking to spot any potential weaknesses and help to formulate his own game plan for when he goes head-to-head and clashes with Andre Ward later on this year. Hopefully, the fight has been signed. As long as there's no injuries or anything like that, then it should go ahead. A lot of people were very critical of Sergey Kovalev's last performance against Isaac Chilemba. Personally, I didn't think it was that bad because Chilemba is a very awkward guy to fight. He's tricky, he's difficult. So the fact that he went the distance with Chilemba, he did manage to drop him and drop him pretty well. Didn't manage to get him out of there. He's a tough guy to fight, Chilemba. I really think people are maybe going a little bit overboard in terms of what they were saying about Kovalev after that fight with regards to his performance not being a good performance. If you think that the way he performed against Chilemba is somewhat indicative of the problems that Andre Ward may give him, that's fair, fair criticism. That's a fair comment, I think. Ward and Chilemba do have some similarities in terms of their approach to boxing, and even Sergey Kovalev has said that. He said before the fight he didn't see any similarities between Ward and Chilemba, but having faced Chilemba after the fight, he was like, you know what, there is some similarities there between the two of them. Some similarities, yes, but there's a lot of differences too. I think Ward is more versatile than Chilemba. Chilemba is a guy who can mess you around, stay on the back foot, use his jab and all that, make it awkward for you to catch him clean, but he's not a guy with the kind of inside game that Andre Ward has. He's not as accurate as Andre Ward, might not be as physically strong as Andre Ward on the inside. We'll see how Andre Ward's vaunted physical strength matches up against Kovalev when they fight. But yeah, it's interesting to see that Kovalev is going to be ringside. It's quite common for future opponents to be doing that. They want to get a close-up look and see what their adversary is really all about. So, yeah, interesting. We'll see how Andre Ward looks against Brand. Most people are expecting him to be very dominant. Brand is unknown. The only guy who is of any note off the top of my head, because I don't have BoxRec open right now to look at Alexander Brand's record, but the only name I can remember from Brand's record that was of any note was Badou Jack, who I think he had a draw with Badou Jack. He either lost a close decision or had a draw with Badou Jack. I think he lost a close decision, a split decision, a few years ago. And is that his only loss? That might be his only loss, or maybe he's lost a couple. I can't remember now. But yeah, so Alexander Brand is totally unknown. A Colombian, normally fights a super middleweight. God knows if he's any good. Badou Jack, incidentally, has said that he's expecting Andre Ward to dominate Alexander Brand and not have too many issues. So, I don't know. We'll see. If this is a relatively easy fight for Andre Ward and Brand is as bad as some people are saying he is, like Abel Sanchez, for example, will this do Andre Ward any good at all by beating the likes of an Alexander Brand? I would suggest not. I would suggest that it's a pointless fight. In which case, why did Ward take it? Well, I've covered that in previous videos ad nauseum. Ward took it because that's all his promotional outfit, Rock Nation, were able to get for him. I'm sure he would have wanted a higher quality opponent to prepare him for Sergey Kovalev. He knows how dangerous Kovalev is. He don't want to go into the fight unprepared. He wants to be as well prepared as possible. And he said himself that Alexander Brand was not his first choice. People, you'd have to be mad to think it was his first choice. So anyway, Kovalev's going to be ringside. He's going to have his beady eyes fixated on Ward, seeing which flaws he can pick out, seeing certain things that Ward does, and trying to spot gaps and angles maybe that he can exploit when they do fight to land his big shots. So, yeah, let me know what you think about Kovalev being ringside for Andre Ward against Brand. And do you think that Ward missed the trick by not being ringside for Kovalev against Isaac Chilemba? Do you think it matters Do you think there's a big difference between watching a fight on television or watching a fight live? Obviously, I've been to many fights live, and you do get a certain sense when you watch someone live, particularly if you're close to the action, like ringside or close to ringside. You do get a certain sense of what a fight is really all about watching it live, which you don't get when you're watching it on TV. I don't know why that is. It's all very spooky, but when you watch somebody live, I think it's easier to see the flaws than watching on television. I don't know what television cameras do, but whenever I've watched a fighter live, they never look as impressive to me as they do on television. I don't know, again, maybe some of you have had that same experience where you watch people live and they're not quite as good when you watch them in person, or not quite as impressive. The way they move, their speed never seems to be quite as impressive in real life as it does on television. So, I don't know. And as well as that, watching it, being there in person, I do find it easier to spot flaws in what certain fighters are doing than when I watch it on television or on YouTube or whatever. So, yeah, just my little anecdotal opinions there. Let me know how you feel about everything I talked about in this video, people. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.